Hello and welcome to Wild Logic. We are all sacred mirrors. Let yourself slip into this moment and know that you are loved deeply. And at the bottom of the deck, I found the Five of Cups in reverse, which has this meaning of acceptance, moving on, finding peace, contentment, seeing positives, right? Let's see a little bit more of what is here. We have the Wheel of Fortune, the Chariot. So moving on, because what is fated will come to us. We don't have to worry about choices and illusion here. And we'll put this back in reverse because that belongs there. We see the Two of Cups here, right? We will find our cups. It's the end of a long journey. There is a new energy coming in. We're no longer in the cold. It is a new day for a new emotion. So for those of you out there that have had a pattern of self-doubt and needing to heal that, this message is for you. When we have a state of disalignment in ourselves, when we don't love ourselves, when we block the love of the universe because of how we've been taught to treat ourselves, we will need to heal that. And this is a message of that healing and transformation. Sometimes the word healing can be a little bit limiting. So we will consider it the word transformation. So we're going to pull a spread here based on that. And so we are all sacred mirrors. That means we are mirrors to one another. And I'm really grateful that you've landed on this message. My name is Glow. This is Wild Logic. It's a new channel. Although I have been working in the realm of healing and tarot and spirituality for a long time, but I've also worked in the practical realms in academia. So I'm here to offer you a particular perspective. I'm not going to tell you how things are going to turn out. I'm going to tell you how to ride the wheel of transformation. That is what I have here to offer you. And most importantly is the energy that I'd like to offer you. This is not of external rewards, although they will come, but this internal awakening and alignment that is most essential to even receive the gifts that you have. And so here we have the Five of Swords, which is conflict. And we can see that even with these Five of Swords, that this cat is about to lay down this third sword and have two. It's time to make a decision, my friends. We are leaving the area of inner conflict with ourselves and taking a new stance. And here we have the World. This is the overlay. It's the completion of this cycle from being reactive to being the one in the driver's seat, right? Maybe you're realizing how you have consistently been reacting to the external world, and that has left you off balance. That is coming to a close. The cycle is complete. You can start to be in the driver's seat. And just another note, with this being a new channel, like and subscribe. It's going to help build this and get these messages to more people. The point of this channel is I want to share this energy and insights and support people out there, people that have perhaps gone through some of the challenges and struggles that I have, and share some of the love and energy I have gained throughout this journey. So consider liking, subscribing, sharing, because that's how we get the message out there. In the realm of the physical, we have the Ace of Swords, clarity. So there is something becoming very clear to us about how we've been operating because of what has come before. And this represents that decision that has been made. We have made this decision, and that is bringing in this clarity. This Four of Wands and this is interesting because, the sacred mirrors, right? That perhaps you've heard of the twin flame journey. Don't worry about it if you haven't. This idea of counterparts, right? Well, everyone and everything is your counterpart. And the twin flame journey is a particular map that you can look at. And it's, not true or true. It's this paradox, right? We make true what we choose to make true. In many ways, we take what we experience and dig in. And so the question is, what do you want to dig in on? This is your mind and emotions entering that state of internal bliss energy, the structure of that energy of belonging, to give that to yourself inside. And in the realm of story, we have the Five of Wands. This is the ending of conflict. You are rising above, my friends. And you are, it's like the Four of Wands. You're not fighting it. You're not working towards it or against it. You have this energy that allows you to rise above. You're not going to worry how things look. It's about how you feel and think. That clarity of the physical world is that it has been built out of your thoughts and feelings, and it is where it is right now. And no doubt, the world has given us a lot to work through. And this is not to spiritually bypass anything that anyone is experiencing. Real world is real stuff. But it's very hard for us to make meaningful change until we go through the process of healing. And what that looks like for each person is going to be different. But it often takes a lot of courage and decisive action to get there. And oh, beautiful. So the Two of Swords is the energy that is coming down for us here. That confidence in our own decisions. We're not splitting the difference. We're following our path is the message I'm getting. This is going to lead us into clear decisions. So the way that this wheel works, and this is a map, like you choose to use it or not, like any map. But this is a map that will allow you to have that clarity. The clarity from within, right? This is the moon. This is the hidden. This is what we've been hiding from ourselves. We'll be able to be in tune with it because we're not overstimulated. Yes. Just checking. Sometimes I have these moments where I'm like, wait, am I recording audio? Because I'm digging this message for myself. And I hope, if anyone else is resonating with this, like this like truths that are hidden from ourselves, like drop a moon, leave a comment. I'm really curious what people out there are thinking and feeling. And because this is a new channel, I'll have some energy to interact with anyone who's willing to get in and say hi. Okay. Yeah, so this is beautiful. Clarity in the physical. Four of Wands, you are internally aligning your mind and emotions to that harmony within. You are ending the conflict. The story is we're no longer going to fight external reality in a reactive sense. We are going to start to make the decisions, have that clarity, and build it within and without. It's the end of fighting. It's the end of letting other people control us through manipulating our mind and emotions. And that's what this is, my friends. There is so much instability. There is so much injustice. And that is all the truth. The universal truth is none of that is okay. The complexity here is, how do we address it? That's the complexity. And what beliefs do we have within us that we need to shed to address it really in a powerful, clear, meaningful way? And this idea of fairness, right? Like there's certainly a lot of things that have happened in my life that are not fair. And I'm sure it's not the least, but looking at it from that angle, like I'm not going to flip the script and take the reins back. So we all have to figure out, what does that mean? And also, yeah, like stop. Like you're not going to get the reins back in your life if you're taking advantage of other people. That stuff has to be cleaned up right away. If you want to unstick yourself, look at any place where you are not taking your responsibility. So, like, I'm sure there might be a range of people listening to this message. Some people have been giving too much. Some people have been giving too little. Some people are, like a lot of it's this imbalance of what we're giving and receiving. It's not sorry, I'm like shuffling. I just started like automatically shuffling. This is where we have to be brutally honest with ourselves. Where is our energy going? If we want meaningful change, what is our process? Tune out the noise and get into it, my friends. Okay. So, yep. So these cards, I'm getting some cards from the Sacred Creators deck here. Sacred Creators Oracle. The first one is fall in love with your own story. So there's a lot of ways we can tell our stories. And this is not about, again, spiritual bypassing, making terrible situations okay. It's about showing our strength and overcoming them. And understanding the process and understanding that the world has been filled with patterns that have created these challenges. And the story is there are many shifts that have to happen. And this is the global shifts are made out of individual shifts. And you, my friend, are a powerful, beautiful individual that deserves your own love and energy. So finding where you're giving it to that doesn't align with your story is key. Hierophant and Emperor energy on this card, 5-4. And what that's telling me is, where are you putting your traditions and will? Like, what traditions have you built into yourself and what needs to change? Make sure your way of living your life honors yourself. And this part of honoring ourselves is honoring that we are connected to everyone. So that is the paradox, right? Honoring ourselves does not mean putting ourselves above everyone else where we win and everyone else loses. Part of honoring ourselves is seeing that we're connected to everyone, understanding how that works, how humans work, and that the gift, reciprocity, bringing that into balance, it's very obvious, but also hard. And so when you're in a lack mindset, you might give too much of what you can't give, and you might be holding back things that are the only thing that is needed, which is perhaps the truth. Oh, I don't mean to pretend that any of this is easy. And yeah, so creator air, it's not surprising that the power of the mind is present here, because the mind is taking a big, powerful seat here. Understanding that the way you think is powerful, and this is not to be hard on yourself for how you have thought. That's actually part of the problem. We think the way we were taught to think, right? We have patterns that we took on, but you can change those patterns. So taking that initiative to align your thoughts. Gratitude again. The power of gratitude to really discern what brings us value and happiness and what doesn't. Like, what are you really grateful for? Are you grateful for the authentic people in your life? Or, a bunch of stuff that you have? Like, what's really meaningful to you? So, and this is not to discount material possessions, but we can all see that we're drowning in that, right? Some people have too little, some people have too much. A lot of people have too much of what they don't really need. It's time for a shift. And that shift is going to be how we manifest and do. So really, like, it can be hard to step out of that way of being with the material world because it's so consistent. Like, so many people are in that. And so I want to honor that too, right? And honor yourself, right? Honor yourself as you face these challenges. Start to get at the reason, like, why is it hard to make these shifts? Are you covering and replacing self-love with materials or people pleasing? What are you doing that is creating these external situations? Because once you're able to see that, you will have a ability to come into balance. And this card represents the let's see here. Temperance. Balance, patience, peace, moderation, calm, right? So getting off of that hamster wheel, getting off of that roller coaster and coming into balance in yourself. And also knowing that if other people are out of balance, how we perceive them has to do with us, right? Do we want other people to be in balance when perhaps they're going through a process or a healing? And do we want them to be something because it disturbs us? There are reasons why people are not in balance. And that is their own journey. It's looking at these bigger patterns and cycles to see why there is so much imbalance, so much lack of moderation. So we're going to pull some more cards to get another layer here. And so these messages are about this deeper healing where maybe some of this is uncomfortable, but we can keep staying in this heightened state of like trying to believe in a fairy tale that actually doesn't line up, doesn't actually give us what we need. Or we can start to become very grounded in our reality and make moves to make change. And here we have balance, invention, destruction. And so when we want something new to come in, we have to remove something else. And this goes from the individual to the larger system levels. And if you're feeling this pinch, which I would imagine a lot of people out there are, where can you invent a new switch for yourself? Where can you flip things around? Where can you take the pressure off? Where can you disengage and detangle yourself? That's the invention. Rewrite your story and let go of the elements that aren't core. Because once you find what is truly precious, that is what you will persist in. This is reminding me of a very dear person in my life who asked me at one point, like, who do I love? And I think, I don't know, you never know with someone else's mind. And it's been a long journey with them. But the way I didn't know what conversation we were having at that moment. And if they wanted to know how I felt about them, that's like it confused me. Anyway, like this person, I had a lot of mirrored blocks, but he asked, while I was talking on the phone, but I'd never met this person in person, but we had such a strong connection, and they were going through a really difficult situation. And, I had a lot of healing to do around close relationships. I'd been a lone wolf for a long time. And so when I got asked that, I said everybody. And we started talking, like, I was talking theoretically, and I think they were talking practically. And they asked, like, well, like, whose picture is in your wallet? And stuff like that. And I, like, didn't get it. And then, like, later I was like, oh, I think they were nervous to, like, have a conversation about feelings with me, and they were finding a way to kind of make me put it out there first, or, and maybe they needed to slow things down. Like, still, it's unclear what was happening in that moment. But the truth is like, in this very big way, there is just this, like, I want to be a positive, loving presence in the world. And it's weird, because then how do you actualize that, right? Like, how do you know if you're doing that right thing? But to me, this card is kind of like, in you, like, what is this deepest thing that you really want from this life? Because I see these hands holding this orb, like, of vision and love and light, like it's a gift. And that's what, like, I really want to embody. And I do definitely want things that are more tangible, but it's been a journey to become more tangible. So we all have different ways in that. Here we have the enchanter, deception, trickery. So and this is what this is all about, right? Making that choice, having that clarity. The Seven of Cups and illusion came through. Like, sometimes you're given 7 choices, but none of them are actually really what's important. This is the thing, is like, we are constantly bombarded with options, but the options are all taking us off of the path of what will really nourish us, right? I mean, you could look at 7 fast food restaurants and none of them really have a nourishing meal. Okay, so deception and trickery. By really figuring out what's meaningful and fulfills you. And it's not that, like, short-term stimulation that covers up your lack of self-love, which is kind of what marketing tries to do to a large extent. There are definitely things that we need out there. But if it's anything we truly need, do we need it sold to us? Not so much. Anyways, what we're truly grateful for will help us stay away from those enchanters. And here we have, this actually goes over this, and this one goes here. So then we have new projects and learning. That is how we manifest and do. There's, with this new energy, you're going to have new things, new ways to walk in the world. Maybe it's as simple as you have a new way to make your bed, right? It's not necessarily, these new projects don't have to be mind-boggling. One of the new ways of doing things is, like, I went on a whole cat litter journey. I have a totally new cat litter process that I didn't even know was possible. And it just helps me get closer to this idea of sustainability that I like, because I'm using wood pellets. They're less expensive, which is great, but also can be composted, and the cycle is the least demanding on the environment from what I can tell. It also smells better. So anyways, that's a cat literature. But all these little things can add up to making you're like taking some edge off, giving yourself some gratitude and for feeling for like it, just figuring out little things can take away some of those tensions. This is what I'm getting, like little baby steps, one little step at a time, and this is internally too, a little bit more self-love day by day, because these are the things you want to grow and build slowly. And even if you have to press pause, that is part of the process. And over temperance, it's interesting. We have the muse. And, when you look at the temperance card in other decks, there's 2 cups that are being balanced. But this is bringing in the 3 of cups, which is celebration, gathering. And in this case, we're looking at the words generosity and naivete. And this is being innocent in this idea of like the I Ching or the Tao is really, really good because it means you're able to see things with fresh eyes. So that's what I'm getting here. This sun in the center, and it's in the center of this whole reading. And it's really that we can have this like love and overflowing beauty in our lives that's born out of what is of our soul. I see this like red in these cups, and it's the lifeblood of who we are, the essence of who we are. That is what we want to mirror to the world, because that will sustain us and the world. So to be generous and naive with our true authentic selves, with our earnest, loving selves. And this is making me think of the worm card from the Animal Spirit Guidebook, which is my favorite because I'm just so into earnestness right now. So let's see what comes out from the Animal Spirit Guidebook, because this is going to help us. These cards are going to help us walk this wheel of coming into ourselves authentically. So we have the Nightingale, which is singing your own song. We have the Snake, the guardian of unawakened magic, which has been held back because of these deceptions. And then we have the Fire Ant, which is what needs to heal as well to help us come more closely to this community, this exchange. So let's start with the Nightingale. Actually, I've been asked to switch these. So this magic that's going to be awakened is, and this is the thing, is like, maybe you lay things out and you need to adjust them. Adjusting things is fine. I'm starting to get the downloads that sometimes even for readings, I'm supposed to just share specific cards. I don't need to draw them randomly, that we can be more intentional. But the Fire Ant is this reaction to this deception and trickery, which makes sense. And the Snake is what is coming from this new story, from this clarity. And that's the centerpiece of the energy here right now. So it has to be switched. Okay, and so we're going to start with the Snake because it just opened that page. Guardian of unawakened magic and creative potential. So this is the potential that is just right under that sacred reflection, that once you start to see that we are all sacred mirrors, this magic is going to wake right up. The Snake is a symbol of our highest potential. It is said that Shakti, our creative life force, lies dormant at the base of our spine in the form of a coiled snake. Regardless of whether this image rings true for you, it's well worth considering the amount of unawakened or untapped potential within. What would life look like if you woke it up? How could you stir it from slumber? An experienced yoga or meditation teacher can lead the way. Make haste. The Snake card appears when there is no more time to waste. When in balance, prosperous, creative, charismatic. When out of balance, starts and stops many things. To bring into balance Kundalini yoga and meditation. And I don't know, is anyone out there familiar with Kundalini yoga? I'm going to share this warm-up routine that I like, that I've been doing for a long time, but it also made my own a little bit. But it's a really solid one. And I think that it could help those out there that would like a little taste of Kundalini yoga that haven't used it before. So this creative potential and magic is coming in. But in this, like, there is a soul song that the nightingale... but we're going to talk about the fire ant first, because it just flipped right to that page. So we are reacting to the outside world for understandable reasons, right? We're encountering a lot right now. And that will bring up aggression, rigid thinking, and following orders, right? We'll start to actually fall into these group structures and follow orders that, there is a meaningful beauty in community. But when we have to fall in line and become rigid and not show any nuance, it will create a new extreme, right? And it will create even aggression within these groups, because people start to only have the end goal in mind and not honoring life and individuality, which is part of a successful transformation on a collective level. Fire ant energy flares up without us noticing. It is the force that attracts us to people and situations that feed our imbalances rather than those that counter them. Gossiping and blaming are a few indicators that misaligned fire ant energy is at play. You might also find yourself stewing on a person or situation, only making things worse. How can you break free from the drama and cool down? Fire ants are surprisingly sensitive. Don't pretend that the heat isn't getting to you. So when in balance, we are very thoughtful and disciplined. When out of balance, argues, excess heat, gossips. To bring into balance, solo time and walks at night. So even when things are heightened, you need time to tap in and tune in and make sure that you are not losing your sense of self and values. Isn't this what we would want from the people that perhaps are working against us? Is that they take time to think and reflect. Have they fallen out of alignment? Yeah. Now let's take a look at the nightingale. Fearless voice, speech, communication, or song. The song of the nightingale is otherworldly. This simple brown bird, almost unnoticeable amongst the flashy plumage of other birds, transports its listener to the realm of poetry. Nightingale energy is with us when we write, compose, and especially when we sing. It reminds us that music heals the deepest wounds. This card indicates a need to open the bridge between the heart and the voice. Is there something you need to say? How long has it been since you sang? Turn it up, write it down, and let it out. When in balance, sings, speaks freely with kindness. When out of balance, shy, lump in the throat. To bring into balance, music. So are there any songs that help you come into balance? That really tap into you at your soul level? Sometimes I'll listen to love songs and make them about myself. And that is kind of always the best thing. Because if we're pushing our energy out to other people, it's great to love people. But if it's such an intense yearning, even for ourselves, because we're here, there's something off, right? So some popular music can be really imbalancing ultimately. There are some songs that I really particularly love. One, I'm thinking of The Power Is Here Now. I mean, there's just so much music, so much beautiful music out there that I find deeply aligning. I'd be really curious what your favorite songs are for alignment. I'm working on putting some playlists on this channel. So I always love finding new music and listening to recommendations. Sometimes I'll get them from other tarot readers on YouTube. So yeah, music, unawakened magic, the heat. It's all in you, my friends. You are closer than you know. And where you are now is beautiful. You're closer than you know because you're actually there. You know, you're here. You're on this planet. You're conscious. You're connecting. You're listening. And you're beautiful. And I'm so glad to be sharing this time with you. Grateful. I would love, if you enjoyed this message, leave a comment, leave some communication, hit that like button, because that feeds the algorithm and gets this to more people that might find it uplifting. Hit the subscribe button if you want to spend more time together. I would love that. And until next time, be well, my friends. Okay.